You are now listening to Vigilantes Radio, presented by the Only One Media Group. This is the people's choice for quality interviews, celebrities and special guests. Hosted by Demetrius Dinny Reynolds. Call in to join the mix at 701-801-9813. For the complete archive of episodes, visit onlyonemediagroup.com and be sure to like us on Facebook at Vigilantes Radio. We welcome all. Enjoy the show. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host, Demetrius Houdini Black Reynolds. Enjoy the show.
Yo, what is going on? I am your host, Dini, and there are over 29,000 of you guys on the phone line with us tonight. So I appreciate you guys as always for calling in and just being so faithful, as listeners and as an audience. You guys are wonderful. So, beauty cannot be truly owned or even adequately defined. It is completely subjective and often fleeting. It is free, it is costly, it has the ability to inspire. No one can really say what it is, but everyone knows it when they see it. Beauty has its physical manifestations, but it goes far beyond the material world. Beauty talks in the language of the heart. The magnificence of the sunset or of a violin concerto cannot be adequately conveyed in words. Just as food nourishes our body, beauty nourishes our spirit. It inspires and it challenges us to do great things. People of great wealth and accomplishment often surround themselves with beauty. Those who have no need or desire to impress anyone else choose to themselves with beauty. Perhaps, just perhaps, that's part of how they got to where they are. But you don't need to be rich or powerful to enjoy the sublime pleasure of beauty. The only thing you guys need is the willingness to appreciate the beauty that is already around you. Just look outside. It's in nature. It's in other people, in works of art, architecture, music, and literature. In a world are essential in every aspect of our life, beauty is a powerful fuel for successful living. Take that from me, dini-mussolini. That is my word, and word is bond.
Let's get this started.
Yo, hello and welcome to another awesome episode of Inside the Music or Inside the Book. Inside the Business, where we dive into the minds of the people who create marvelous things. It feels so good to be back with you guys once again. So one time for my people who are indigos, crystalline or starseeds, or for my Vigilantes audience family, and 2 times for my people who are vegetarian or vegans. If you're like me, we are averaging over 37,000 live listeners, and we've been at this for 4 solid years. I appreciate all you guys who've been rocking with the kid on this journey, and we are still evolving, baby. It is all because of you, most definitely. We are the people who have dedicated their lives to music, spirituality, business, literature, art, movies, and research in every aspect, and we want to allow you an opportunity to tell your story. Man, we've had celebrities on our show, from Grammy Award-winning artists to nominees to actors, comedians, CEOs, technology geniuses, visual artists, from authors to professors and aliens. Or people think they're aliens. It doesn't matter who you are or where you come from. Come on our show and talk to me. So check it out. To book an interview or just to share a real cool story, email me at vradio@onlyonemediagroup.com. And that's V as in Victor. I'm passionate about what I do, just as passionate about what you do, and together Yes, together we can get your voice heard by the people who should hear it. So let's create something incredible. You know the number to dial, 701 801-9813. Text that number to your buddy right now and tell them to tune in to connect with us or our guests, or you can hop in the mix directly from our website, onlyonemediagroup.com. Right from the homepage, you can slap that go live button and you'll be right here live in the mix and in the chat room with all of us. Feel free to shoot over some questions to ask our guests while they are here, but only as time permits. Sometimes my guests and I talk entirely too much and we take up the entire hour. And as always, all episodes are available for free download, and you can grab that from either Spreaker.com/Only One Media Group, iTunes, YouTube, or any app from the Google Play or iTunes Store, or over at our website. And that goes for every single episode that we've ever aired.
Well, tonight's interview is the Truez Interview. And as you guys already know, I am your host, dini-mussolini. Just in case you guys didn't know. Just in case you forgot. Well, this is unique. And really, I suppose it should be. I like to introduce you guys to Truez, a man with a vision and a plan for his business partner, Aaron Grossman. Together, they put together a project and a plan for working through the waves of this thing we call the industry pool. And Truez was extremely kind to lend us his thoughts on his latest single called I'm On. And maybe we can get some cool insight on his up-and-coming album, New Trap City. So you should be a believer by now, just for that little small intro. Of course, right? Like I said, unique it shall be. And with that, let's go ahead and invite him on to the show. Hey, Truez, you're now live in the mix with all of us. How's it going?
It's going good, man. How are you?
Man, I am blessed. Can't complain.
The show sounds awesome too, by the way. It's very deep. Ironically, the lady in the beginning was like, grab your chai tea. I'm actually drinking some tea right now.
Cool. Hey, I appreciate that, man. Definitely.
No problem.
Yeah, man. So how did you celebrate our latest national holiday? You say, what holiday are you talking about? I'm talking about the Super Bowl. How did you celebrate the Super Bowl?
I didn't watch it. I took a knee.
Man, that makes two of us.
Nah, I forgot what I was doing on the Super Bowl. I was making some. I was waiting for my flyers to come back for this show I got on March 2nd in Augusta, Georgia, and I was very, very impatient to the point where, I just kept blowing up the guy's phone the whole time. But then I had to realize he's watching the Super Bowl.
Yeah, man. Crazy how just, life stops in the USA when the Super Bowl is, happening.
Very true.
Not for me. And I was, trying to tie up loose ends with working, stuff with the show. I think I was actually writing a script for one of the shows we got next week. So
nice.
Don't stop for me,
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. Just how the intro is and what you were talking about beauty and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure you wasn't watching the Super Bowl.
Yeah, man. Plus my team didn't make it, so I didn't miss anything.
Who's your team?
New Orleans Saints. I'm a dude from the South, so got to stick with the home teams. Yeah.
I was actually going for the Patriots.
I guess they had a nice season. I guess.
Yeah. I didn't watch the. All right. So I'm a forerunner. I used to watch football a lot growing up, but when you get a little older, it just some people obviously it doesn't stop, but it just kind of gets a little watered down. So I don't watch it per se, but if a team that I used to root for wins, then I guess that's just like a plus for the old me.
Yeah. I know. I definitely feel you on that, man. I'm the same way. I'm like that with a lot of things, man. Facebook is starting to get that way to me, where it's like I'm not spending that much time on it. I probably check it once a week, maybe twice.
Or is it checking when it comes to people like us, or is it updating?
Say that one more time.
Is it like checking when it comes to people like me and you, or do we update? Because me personally, I don't check my Facebook. I just update it. So what I'm doing currently or something like that. I just can't scroll because it's depressing.
Yeah. Lately, man, I just haven't been updating either. I just don't feel the need to anymore. Yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe just a major disconnect from a lot of things that I consider nonsense now. Maybe it's just, older age. Who knows?
Also, you probably shifted. Well, you all right. So take what we do. You've probably shifted your platform to these other outlets to the point where Facebook is completely obsolete. Unless you want to talk to like a cousin or auntie or something like that.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say that, as far as business goes, because you need that little bit of social media to, keep people interested. But it's like what you mentioned, like it's just a bunch of nonsense and it's depressing. I don't know how you are, but I kind of feel other people's energy and it kind of, weighs on me sometimes. So I gotta disconnect from it all.
Energy is real, man. You try to tell people always.
Definitely real.
They always use the word vibe, and like people need to like also put some AKAs. Like vibe is energy and vibe is frequency, and it's definitely real.
Yeah, man. So yeah, I'm glad you're here, man. Like I said, this is going to be unique, guys. You see how artists they're deeper than the surface. You never know what an artist believes or into, or how deep their mental powers go. And I think we'll find out tonight that Truez is definitely one of those deep divers. What do you say, man?
I do. I'm a little too deep sometimes, to the point where I gotta pull myself out of myself. Like, it's weird, But I mean, it's cool though, because it makes me unique and it makes me feel at least special in my own little right, between me and my beliefs and stuff like that.
Definitely. So you're from Georgia. There's
Raised
also
in Georgia.
another. I'll say it again.
Raised in Georgia. I was born in Newark, New Jersey, originally.
Wow. How did you end up in the dirty South?
I always tell people this: if you're from the North, you most likely have some kind of relative down south. You can't escape it. But my grandparents were born here and raised here in Georgia. We went to school with James Brown and all of that kind of stuff. So, just fell on some hard times, me and my mom and my brothers. And so when we fell on hard times, we go back to the beginning, and the beginning is here. So I've been here ever since.
Well, good luck in getting like people from New York to admit they have family in the South.
No, they're not going to admit it, but they be down here every summer.
Right. Enjoying our sun,
Right.
All right, man. Thank you so much for taking the time out, to talk with us here, tonight in this interview. I'm already looking forward to what you might have to say, and I've already just, we just getting started with everything, Words and the messages are pretty important to the music of Truez. But I suppose just because I do my job, my homework, of course, doesn't mean that some people on this side of the internet are completely familiar with your full story. So from your own perspective, what is your music all about?
My music now, or just an overall scope?
Man, you can give us the overall scope now. We actually love stories, and I have a bag of popcorn here, so you can go as long as you want.
Well, I got my tea, so let me grab my tea. All right, so now I'm gonna start now, because it's where we at. Now it's about self-growth. It's completely about self-growth, inspiring, reaching the highest level of self, and that doesn't come easy, and that whole mind frame doesn't come early on. And I've been rapping for so long. Like, I've been rapping since I was 12 years old. And at 12, a lot of people will be like, oh, that's cool. A lot of rappers say that, but a lot of rappers are in different time periods at 12. So at 12, we're at the White Tee, the franchise boys. We in with Fabo and all of that stuff. We're in that kind of range, and I'm like stuck with this up north mentality being raised in the South, and it's hard for me. It's just hard growing up because people picked on me for not being in the South or saying the word sneakers. Like, it's just like, it was just a different world for me. So my music at first started off wanting to be the best, just wanting to be the best at what I do. I felt like it was pointless to do what you do if you don't want to be the best at what you do. And so I would spend hours and hours in my room. First, it started off rapping the whole Get Rich or Die Trying album, start to finish, like it was my own. Grabbed the remote control and make sure I moved some stuff around in my room, carved out my little stage. And I rapped the whole entire project. I do that to Jay-Z projects. I do it to, further on, like Kid Cudi's projects and stuff like that. And but then now to backtrack to when I was 12, 13, when I started making my own music, I started visualizing myself and rapping my own music in my room and performing it, visualizing who I want to see at the show and stuff like that. And this is years before I even had a show. So I spent years cultivating a dream and I guess what I see myself as an artist for so long that when I actually started to do it, I knew exactly what to do and I knew exactly what to say and convey. And at that time, I had my skills was on point because I had been the best in my mind for years. And now it was just a matter of learning more. And what I mean by learning more, familiar with the industry, everybody listening, the industry changes like every 2 to 3 years. So it changes all the time. So imagine when you're just figuring out, like you're getting a grasp on things, and then boom, it changes. And now the sound changes. What people are interested in changes. So now you got the choice. As an artist, your choice is, do you go with what's in or do you continue doing what you know? So my whole thing was combining everything always at once so I could never be like washed and I can never be fully engulfed in what's in at the same time. I had a rap line a while ago in one of my songs called The Zone where I say, if I master every style, who they gonna pay? You know what I mean? Like, so it's just like, I need to master these styles. So it's no question. If you want lyrics, you come to me. If you want harmonizing, you come to me. If you want something comedic through skits, you can come to me. And I pretty much do everything because of me being raised in the South and then being from up north and having those roots and my interest level being more so up north, but my customs being more so down south. It's a crazy, crazy blend in my music, and you can hear it. You can hear the slurs, the accents, but I'm rapping over beats that's not typically heard down here. But my music took a turn in 2014, at the end of 15, when the world was going through all that BS, and I was looking at stuff that was going on between the police shootings and stuff like that. It was just like a crazy time period in the world. And then I looked around me and I realized I got over 11 people around me. And what I mean by 11 people, I don't mean just the homies like chilling on the couch. I mean 3 rappers, a photographer, a videographer, a road manager, a manager, a business partner, the website guy. Like, I had all these people around me and I started to feel responsible. And people, my friends from high school and people I was close with, they'd come up to me, they'd come to the studio and say, man, they whisper in my ear like, hey man, can you handle all of this? Or are you good? And I look at them like, yeah, of course I'm good. Like, I didn't understand why they were asking that, but they seen something that I didn't see. And so I realized I had a responsibility. I had younger people around me. I had young producers that just turned 18 around me. You know what I'm saying? I'm sneaking them into shows and clubs and stuff just so they can get the magic. And it's just like, I realized I was on something totally different. I realized that my dream that I had in my room is actually breeding other people's dreams that they had in their room. So now my responsibility is to help them cultivate that while not necessarily getting in their way. And that's the hardest thing. You know, not saying like I'm their parent or nothing like that, but if you think about a parent, they protect you, or they try to prevent things from happening and all of that stuff. And they try to protect you to the point where sometimes it can hinder your growth. And so I got to be mindful about that. So my whole thing is inspiring now and trying to get out the way, but stay there so people can know I definitely got their backs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Man, I feel that, man. I feel that. And hats off to you for real for that. I mean, I had so many questions just pop up as you was talking. But I do want to talk about this. Like you mentioned, parent. It almost seemed like parenting, maybe. But at some point, with every parent, when they're pursuing their dreams, at some point, when their children are old enough, you know, their children start to dream, and then the children's dream becomes the parent's dream. Now, thinking of that aspect, when it comes to you and your music, and then you're fostering other careers, younger careers than yours, when does that work? When does that happen for you? When does that transition happens for you, where the people who are coming up under you, who are looking to you for leadership, for direction, say, hey, you know, I want your energy for whatever I'm doing? When do you say, you know, my career has had a nice run and now it is time to focus on something else?
I'm not there yet. I have, what I look at it in periods. I have to have, music is forever. You know, being an artist and creating is forever. So I can't stop creating for something or someone else to create. So what I have to do is water the flowers in periods when they need to be watered. You know what I'm saying? I don't water them all day. You know, you can kill the flower like that. So you need a little bit of sunlight, you need some water, boom, and next thing you know, they be taking care of their own self. So how I look at it, I'm looking at it like, okay, the further I go, the further anybody who's next to me will go. And if people look up to me like how I know they look up to me, then I have to keep paving that way. And that gives me purpose now, like in the later years. It gives me purpose to keep going, you know, like say right now, so a year and a half ago or 2 years, can't even remember now. Seems like yesterday, but time moves weird now. But so yeah, I was in Atlanta, had a 6-bedroom house with my Aaron Grossman, by the way, is my former business partner. We did a lot of great things together early on. So when we were doing our thing, we created a label, Students of the Game, and so we had 6-bedroom house with the studio at the bottom. We had 2 artists living there, Kool Kumar and Johnny Traverse at the time, and then him and myself. And at the time, we had a painter there that night where the house caught on fire. And the house caught on fire, joint went up in flames. I remember it was this time, it was crazy. I'm talking about, this is like movie type stuff, right? And I'm a big movie head, so I felt it while I was in it. But we're looking at the fire come through the front door, because it started from the bottom of the house and it went to the top. So we looking at the fire go through the front door, and I don't have my phone. I didn't grab anything. So when I ran through the back door of the house down underneath where the fire started to grab one thing. Do you know what that one thing that I grabbed?
What's that?
The computer.
Yeah.
I had to grab the computer because, forget my music in a sense, I had to grab that because I was helping cultivate so many other people's music. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had to grab my boy Kool's music. Like, I had to do that, because if I didn't, especially when the firemen got there, man, they tore the house apart with the water and all of that stuff. Like, it would have been done. Like, everything, you know, you worked so hard for would have been done. So best believe when I lost everything, is one thing that remained was the music. And it's like things like that I do that I feel like I have to do. And so now here I am. I'm coming out of that smoke, no pun intended, but all puns intended. I'm coming out of that smoke of the house fire back on this run. But I had to watch my people look at me like, damn, like, what am I going to do? What do you, like, they never asked me, but you can tell, like, it's like, if we don't speak about it for 2 years, what people are thinking, you know what I'm saying? So people are looking at me like, what are you going to do? And I never let it get to me because I had a spiritual awakening in that moment. So I never got too down on myself. But here I am doing something about it, and I think it's really inspiring for people. And that's what I'm about. So I don't necessarily feel like I gotta stop doing what I have to do for other people to do it. I just gotta do it differently now. Like, I can't be so hands-on like a parent. You know what I'm saying? I gotta be more like an older brother now and just go out and do it. And then you got that choice to follow or not follow at that point.
Definitely. Man, it's quite a story, man. Glad you made it out of the fire.
Yeah, thank you. I know, right? Ooh.
Yeah.
That was crazy, man.
Dang. So tell us about the upcoming album, New Trap City. It's I don't know if it's out yet. I think it comes out this month, right?
This spring.
This spring, okay. Cool. So tell us about that.
All right, so one thing about me, when I do projects, as I take a sip of my Wensheng, Yakuro, Imperial, all that good stuff.
Nice.
When I cultivate projects and stuff like that, I come up with project ideas years prior before I do it. This is just how I've been doing it. Like I told you, when I was a kid, I visualized who I wanted to be, and it still is becoming it. And so I got this project idea, New Trap City, back in 2015, and I was like, that's gonna be my album. And the trap stands for, it's spelled with 2 P's. The trap stands for trying to run away from problems and pain. And that's the undertone story of, I feel like, everybody's life in a sense. And for the most part, where I'm from, Augusta, Georgia, it's very hard to get out of this city doing what you want to do. Not get out. Everybody can somehow leave if they really, really wanted to, but to get out doing what you want to do is so hard. And you'll find yourself almost trying to escape rather than letting things come organically. Now let's go back on the surface. On the surface, you hear New Trap City. So you think trap music. So what I did was, like I do so well as far as blending, I took the 808s and the hard knocking beats, but then I put my Truez twist on it, and put lyrics and metaphors and emotional undertones to them, to the point where I feel like the trappers, the hustlers, you know what I'm saying, the block runners can listen to this, the person getting ready for work can listen to this, and the conscious, like, human being can listen to this. Because of that, the conscious person is listening to trying to run away from problems and pain. The hustler is listening to New Trap City. You see what I'm saying? And like I said, it's the undertones of Augusta. And Augusta, a lot of people don't know, is the second largest city in Georgia, and it was the capital of Georgia at once upon a time. And we're overlooked. How do you, Georgia's a pretty big state and pretty prominent right now in music, but how do you overlook the second biggest city in there? Yeah. And there's something to that. And the only thing people can associate Augusta with in hip hop is Pastor Troy, and in music in general, James Brown. That's a problem. We're talking Pastor Troy in 98. We talking James Brown in the 60s, 50s, and all of that stuff. Like what happened? What's going on there? You know what I mean? So it's a trap also in that sense, where it's like you just can't bust out of this box, basically. And it's just the hardest thing to do. And here I am taking that tall order, and I take it proudly too, because I look at it different because I wasn't born here. I've been raised here since I was in the 4th grade, 5th grade, but I wasn't born here. So my eyes and like my parents' eyes, we don't see things like people from here see it. So I have this ability to kind of, it's like a superpower to take a step back and look at the whole thing and try to work through it that way, rather than being engulfed in it and maybe like too much into this and too much into that, because I got 60, 70 cousins here or something like that. Like, nah, like family very slim here. You know what I mean? Like it's little to no family. So it's kind of like I don't have those connections that people from the land actually have, but I was raised in the land. So I'm just looking at it a totally different way. And right now I feel like it's my opportunity to bust out. I went through my little adversity. I went through my little spiritual awakening. And so now it's time for New Trap City, going back to your question that I came up with a couple of years ago. It just wasn't that time a couple of years ago. And I'd be comfortable with those kind of ideas. Those kind of ideas is fine, because I know it takes a while for things to cultivate and for it to sound like New Trap City. That's the most important thing. How are you going to make it sound like New Trap City? I went through this. I left. By the way, the house fire happened in Atlanta, by the way. So I got out, and then the house fire happened, and I came back. Like, how horrible is that? So now it's kind of like, and then a lot of people, those 11 people I told you that was around me, 95% of them disappeared. So it was a different type of thing for me, but I was so comfortable with it because I knew it was supposed to happen. So now I know New Trap City is supposed to happen, because now I got something to back it up. It's not just an idea anymore,
Yeah. So, is something wrong with Augusta? Is it bewitched, or is it literally a ghetto trap? I've never been to Augusta, so yeah. I don't know. Like, what does it look like from your point of view?
All right, so you ever heard of the show Once Upon a Time?
Yep.
So when you say bewitched, I was watching Once Upon a Time, and I was like, man, and this girl was on Facebook, and she said something like, I want my happy ending, and I was like, I said, you and everybody in Storybrooke. And so was making me laugh and think about that, because you said it's a bewitched, and I don't want to say it is, and I'm not going to say it is. I'm just going to say it's different. Augusta is different. It's like I said, second biggest city, but we're so closely knitted. I'm gonna give you a prime example. So the public buses, right? We probably got like 3 of them running out of the whole day. First of all, second of all, the public bus doesn't even run up to the suburbs. It doesn't run up to where the good jobs are. It doesn't run up to where the good area is. It literally stops at a certain point. So it's letting you know that the city isn't even designed for somebody in the south side of the city to get to that side. So it's kind of like keeping you separated. And it's like, and you can like literally see it. I'm not even gonna put it on race. I'm not even gonna make it one of those things right now. But like I went to a school called Josie, and Josie was dominantly black, and so black that we probably had silent lunch every day because there was fights from Southside and Sunset every morning. Now, I'm talking 6 a.m. So, and then I left there because I felt like I wasn't going to get no opportunity, and I felt like I had to defend myself every morning. I woke up to go to school, and I was cool with people on both sides, but 4 years out of high school, I'm in the 9th grade. If I did that for 4 more years, I would have had to choose a side at some point. You know what I'm saying? And so I went to West Side. West Side at that time was 44 to 45% white, and it was growing in blacks because we were given the opportunity the schools in the South Side was given the opportunities to pick their schools because the test scores were so low. So when I got to West Side, I'm not going to say I experienced racism, but I will say when you walked into the lunchroom, all the white folks ate on one side and all the black folks ate on the other side. It wasn't racist, though, because we all knew each other. We all cool with each other when I played football. So on a football team, all the white people got dressed on the other side of the locker room, all the black people got dressed on the other side of the locker room. But when we got out on the field, it was great. When we were in the locker room, we talked to each other. It's not like it's one of those we hate black people thing. It's just naturally separated. And so here's now I'm gonna go to music now. Economically, Caucasians do not buy hip hop in Augusta. Caucasians from Augusta do not buy into any music in Augusta. Because of that, that's why we can't get on. That's exactly why we can't get on. Because if you go to Atlanta, the Caucasians in Atlanta are buying Atlanta music. It's not like they're not buying Atlanta music. Caucasians are buying music in general. They're the ones that's buying the music. So if your own city, the second biggest city in Georgia, none of those Caucasians are buying your music, you know the black folks ain't gonna buy the music. They're gonna support from a distance or up close to a certain degree. But at the same time, if those Caucasians came down to a show and put money in your pocket and all the artists' pockets, we'd be on a whole nother level. Mm-hmm. We won't have to leave and go to Atlanta. We will have our own industry because we have the people with the money buying into our industry. And that's really the problem. So it's not cursed. It's just legit separated. But it's not. That's why I take pride in what I do, because I want to be that artist to actually bridge the gap. Like, I want to be that artist that I feel like would do that. You know what I'm saying? So, prime example, this show that I'm throwing on March the 2nd, I got 2 rock and roll bands playing on March the 2nd at Sky City, one of the most prominent venues in Augusta. So prominent that when I was freaking 15, I was Googling images of Sky City stage. I would pull up the image and I would visualize myself on that stage. I didn't perform on that stage till I was 24 years old. So I was 24. And then I had this rock band, Mayhem on a Monday. Shout out to Casey Andrews. She's hit me up and saying it's a dream come true.
Wow.
A dream come true, man. These are deep words from people in your own city. And I'm just like, wow, we are behind. And that's what makes me feel like we are behind. Is those words, because nobody here is buying into our music.
Yeah. Man. That definitely calls for, attention when it comes to economics, even from the music industry side. And I can definitely relate to that. I'm also from a city that has invisible boundaries within the inner city. And it's like they moved all the great jobs, all the malls out of the inner city, which is the capital, and they moved them to like outside cities that were designed in the millennium, new cities, bright buildings, bright streets. But you get to the capital and it's pretty abandoned. Detroit, but it's getting there. And you talk to someone from inner cities like, yo, have you been to the new mall? I'm like, dude, I haven't left the block. What you talking about?
Yeah.
And, there's like McDonald's, of course, because they employ anybody. So it's like that's the only real hope that's there. And the music scene is so worse, man. We have David Banner, who's from Jackson. Bit Crit, he's from Meridian, Mississippi. But like, if you're on their level, you leave, of course. Just like, if you're from Augusta, I guess you should leave. Go to Atlanta, go to New York, go to LA. And nobody's bringing it back to the city. And like, yo, it's like 50 Cent says, who wants to go back to the hood? Mm-hmm. Who wants to do that? So that's the mindset. It's like either you stay within the invisible boundary where the buses don't go to they don't commute to the good jobs. They only commute, around the inner city. They don't go, and they can go there, but they just won't. Mm-hmm. There's literally a road called County Line Road And on one side of the county line is the inner city, you know, with the abandoned buildings. And on the other side, which is just what I say 100 feet away, is all the shiny lights, you know, all the nicely dressed folks. And it's crazy that the bus won't cross that county line road.
Wow.
So I know what you mean. And it works both ways on economics and in the music industry, because there's literally none. There's no more open mics. There's no more, I don't even know what they do here as far as music goes.
And you're in Mississippi.
Yeah, I'm in Mississippi, but I'm back and forth between here and Cali, so it's like when I'm back home, the lights are out. But then I get to LA, Hollywood, wow, shiny lights, you know? And
you know what stands out to me?
What's that?
One of my mentors back in 2014 told me, he said don't fret about where you're from and how people treat you, because Jesus was known as the carpenter where he was from, but then everywhere else he was a miracle worker.
True.
That phrase right there gets me through this small town's woes. It gets me through ever since.
So what's the plan for you?
Like,
it don't sound like you. It don't sound like you plan on abandoning Augusta with your music.
Nah,
it sound like you want to bring it back and be the difference.
This is my legacy. This isn't even this. I feel like me doing music is so small right now. What I mean by that is the whole landscape of why I'm doing what I'm doing is so much bigger than myself that it don't make no sense. It's so hard for me to be selfish. So I feel like I can't abandon them, because I know how it feels too much. I had a conversation with Big Crit one time in Atlanta. We was in the studio and he was making a beat, had his headphones on, making his beat, and then I didn't know him or anything. It wasn't like we were kicking it and just really like kicking it hard. But I approached him not on some, hey, Big Crit, hey, I'm Truez. I don't even think I told him my name, but I just went up to him and I asked him about small town stuff, because I understood he was from a small town. But his mind state was exactly like how everybody's mind state is here. You gotta get out, man. You gotta get out, because there ain't no love. So that just, no offense to what he said, because like I said, it's true. But like, can you imagine? And I feel like Big Crit could be so much bigger than what he is, but I feel like the reason why he isn't is because he's leaving his legacy behind. If that makes sense. Like, he's leaving really what matters. Yeah. He's so small. He's a flash. We are all small in this universe. So we're so small, your legacy is actually should be more populated. Like, you think of a J. Cole who left his city and went up to New York to make his dream possible. But every time he made sure Fayetteville was the reason. He wouldn't hesitate to let people know Fayetteville was the reason. And he didn't leave to really escape. He left to go further his education. You know what I'm saying? So it's more like this dude never left his legacy behind. Kendrick carving out his legacy. Kendrick is Kendrick not because the world made him Kendrick, it's because Compton made him Kendrick. So it's more like people are forgetting when James Brown, let's bring it back to James. When James was doing this thing, it was Augusta-Georgia. He opened up so many businesses here. He got a statue downtown. The reason why he got a statue, because he understood where his legacy was. He could have moved to L.A. Kidding me? James Brown could have been right up there, L.A., and doing his thing and still been one of the biggest artists of all time, but he understood where his legacy was, and I understand what my legacy is. I understand where it lies. I can't abandon that. Yeah, I can leave. I can go get a house somewhere else, but I'm not abandoning it. I'm gonna be here, man.
Yes, sir.
I love my people.
Man, wow. Glad we had the conversation.
Sure.
Do you find it difficult to express emotion through your music? Like, do you ever get it all out in one song?
Never. Which is why I don't spend too much time on one song. And I don't find it hard to express emotion at all. Actually, I find it harder to not be emotional. It's actually quite the opposite for me. But I'm going to be honest. I take the Tupac approach, man. That joint just going to have to go. I get in the studio, I write something nasty and dope. My homies, I recorded 116 songs 1 year. And we ain't talking about songs that you could just hear and be done with. We talking about deep songs. We talking about real legit songs with 3 verses on it. And if anybody understands the way the music game is now, 3 verses is a pretty big deal. So we talking 4 to 5 minute songs. I did that. Did 116 of those, and to this day, my homie hit me up and was like, man, Millions is my new anthem when I go to work. Millions ain't even out yet. I recorded that in 2014. It's not even out yet. It's just the fact that like, that's how I don't try to make my single I'm On. I'm not going to try to make I'm On the greatest thing you ever heard. I'm going to try to make I'm On great and move on. Like, you know, I gotta move on. And when people say, yo, I'm on, this song is dope, I'm like, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? Because the way I recorded it, I recorded 5 more of those. You just haven't heard it yet.
Definitely. Do you find it hard to express emotion as a person, you know, without music?
Now that's the question. That you remember iRobot when the guy would say, you must please ask the right question.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of those questions that unlock a portal right there, man. Like, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. At first it was, I'm the youngest out of two boys. My eldest brother is 12 years older than me, and my other brother is 6 years older than me. So my eldest brother's pushing 40. So I have a large disconnect with my brother's years and compatibility and stuff like that. So I've always felt like I was on my own in a sense. So, and then my father not being in my life at all. Let me not say not really, because that gives him that makes it seem like he attempted. But I have no issues with my father, by the way. I love him, but he wasn't there. But so that kind of made me colder. But growing up, I never felt like I was too cold, but I guess people would say I was. But as I get older, because I put so much in my music, I don't have nothing left sometimes for people emotionally unless they ask the right question. You know what I'm saying? Like, I may start out really like, yeah, word, I feel you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I understand. But if you bust open that portal, I give you everything. Because my music has everything, and I feel like if you're not listening to my music, then I'm not gonna sit here and talk about that stuff, because I just spent like 2 hours writing a song, getting emotions out. And I write poetry too. I have a poetry book that I've been writing in since 2015, and I got 22 more pages left, and here we are in 2018. So I'm gonna publish that one day. It's gonna be pretty cool. But I write so much to get my emotions out, so when you see me, I can have energy for you. I can have the right energy for you. You know what I mean? I'm goofy as hell. So I'm not sure if we can say that. I'm sorry. But
man, you can say anything you want.
All right, cool. So I'm goofy, so I'd rather be goofy for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm super deep in my records, so I'd rather be goofy. I remember I was supervisor at Hollister when I was like 20 years old. And I remember I was so geeked up. It was my first project, Art 91, that I was releasing in 2013. Not my first project, but my first joint with a professional video shot by GT Films, by the way. He just shot a joint for Birdman the other day. But so yeah, he shot my first video, 2013, called Pharaoh Skin, Only Black in the Room. And so I was working at Hollister, and I played a song for one of my Caucasian managers, and he was like, you know, Truez, I really love your music, but I have a question. He said, your personality is so bright in person, but your music don't reflect it. And I was like, I thought that was the deepest thing I've ever heard. And at that point, I never even thought twice. And I wonder why I always tense up when I play music for people, because I guess it is a certain part of me that is only expressed on wax. But so that right there let me know that I had something going on where I was kind of like putting my emotions in my music and kind of like separating it in person. So I tried to work on putting more of my personality that you would see in my music more. But to answer your question more in the simplest form, it is hard to be emotional outside of my music these days, because I put a lot of stuff in my music so much that, and if you're not listening to my music, I feel like you're not listening to me even when I'm in front of you. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that everybody gotta listen to my music, but like, come on, like if I've been doing music in this city for 8 years, 9 years, and let's just even say the last 5 years been real consistent in putting out projects, and you can't tell me not one song or a lyric, there's a problem, and maybe I should be disconnected. You know,
well,
asking me how my music is.
That sparks another question, a very interesting question, and you probably dealt with this before. All right, so you feel like someone who's close to you should know at least one line or two from your music. But what if you meet somebody who just doesn't care about that, and they don't listen? They're not your fan, but they want you as you. You know, they want you in their life as you. Could you still deal with that? Yeah,
but I'm learning now, because I was single for like four years throughout this run that I was doing with my music. I was single, so I didn't trust a lot what women would say or anything like that. And now, like, my girl, like, she kind of tells me basically that in the nutshell. And it's different for me. I have to really kind of, sometimes it's hard for me to like deal with it, because I'm kind of like, dang, well, it's forcing me to be more human in a sense. I feel like I'm a superhero more so when it comes to my music. It's almost like the Bruce Wayne Batman thing. So it's forcing me to stay out of the costume. And it's good. That is good for me, because it keeps me grounded. But at the same time, it is very, very new. But only somebody that close to you can say something like that. You know what I'm saying? If we're fly by night and you don't know me, but you ask me about my music and been watching me and been liking stuff and sharing stuff, but can't tell me nothing about my music, but we're not that close, then that's the problem. But if we're really, really close and I see you every day and you don't listen to my music, but I see you every day and you love me, then I'm just kind of like, I got to accept that. You know what I'm saying? I have no quarrels with that.
That don't make you feel some type of way?
Coming from her?
Yeah.
Or a stranger?
No, from someone you know. Like even a brother.
All right, I'm going to tell you, my eldest brother, he's really into astrology and stuff like that. He was doing body graphs for a long time. And one thing he told me a couple of years ago in 2012, he was like, don't be out here trying to prove anything to anybody. And when he said that, it kind of made me basically, like, if things go wrong like that, or if I have those feelings, I just say, well, whatever. It's not for them. You know, I got to go elsewhere. And I feel like if he never told me that, obviously, if I can remember the year he told me, you could tell it was very prominent in my life. So if he would have never told me that, I would have been out here trying to prove that. I would have been out here angry that you don't know a song. I would have been out here angry that you ain't saying my lyrics, angry that you ain't sharing my record. But now I'm not so much angry anymore. Now I'm just going to be like, the joke's really on you because you're missing out. Like, you know what I mean? But I can't prove nothing to you anymore. Like, I gotta do my thing. Like I said, the game changed. It's about inspiration, self-growth, and all of that stuff. So the game changed.
Nice. It's a nice answer, man.
All right. Thank you.
So Yeah, no doubt, man. Because I know a lot of people who are very, very bitter about like a brother or a loved one who just won't support what they're doing, and then it's like they want to talk about it. It's like, nah, ask me about it. You know, if you want to know something, go listen to it, or something like that. So it's nice that that you've been at that point, but you've gotten over, you've grew through it. A lot of people don't go through a lot of things, so
very, very
cool,
hard, man. A lot of nights of meditation, I'll tell you that.
I don't know, man. Me myself, sometimes I look at it as I don't know, almost as betrayal, because you would go out of your way to support them, but my own brother doesn't, listen to the show. And then,
my oldest brother doesn't talk to me anymore. But so I feel exactly, yeah. So even though he told me that, but look, I took his advice. Even though he does that, I took his advice, and I'm using it for good, and I don't blame him. But see, every story got betrayal. Even the Lion King got the story of betrayal. So I look at it like it's the story of life. The Bible got betrayal all up in that, mom. So I'm just kind of like, at some point you just start to chalk stuff up like, I guess that's what happens, because that's what happens.
Okay, well, let me ask you this: what
dad shot him in the head?
Let me ask you this. Yeah, you're right, man. Let me ask you this: what keeps you from being a scumbag? No, straight up, man, because a lot of these situations creates, dickheads and scumbags, and, because they're bitter.
Yeah. I was raised by my mother. So I feel like in the back of my mind, I'm like, if she won't approve of this, then I got to think twice. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sensitive to a lot of things. Like I'm a very sensitive guy. And when we say sensitive, I don't mean sensitive like I cry. I mean sensitive like I feel. So I feel a lot. So if I turned into or not even turned into a scumbag, if I was on some scumbag stuff, I would feel it a lot. Like a lot of people can kind of like narcissistically block it out.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be able to do that, man. So I give her, like, I think, and now I got nieces and nephews too. I've been an uncle since I was 9 years old. So I feel like I got people watching me, and I don't even got kids of my own. So I feel like I got people watching me, and I just can't afford to be a scumbag.
Yeah,
it's very expensive being a scumbag.
Yeah, but man, I gotta commend you though, man. You're responsible, very responsible person. Wow,
thank you.
Yeah. And you like, man, Dini thinks, he thinks the world of people being responsible. Yeah, man, in this day and age, responsibility I learned, people taking accountability, man, and it's very rare.
Yes, indeed.
So, Truez, man, what's the heaviest blues, real life, down in the dirt experience that you brought into your music?
Heaviest blues, down in the dirt experience that I brought into my music. I think it was like 2014 when I was heartbroken, and I rapped about and I made a whole project called Damn My Lifetime, which kind of got me a situation with DJ K Slay in New York too, so that was pretty cool. But the whole project was me being hurt. Yeah, you see, look how weird that is. I was so hurt that I wrote this project, and I wrote it in 2 or 3 weeks, and I recorded it in 1 week. And it was all because I got that text message that said, I found someone else. Ooh, that hurt. And that was a 4-year relationship. So my thing, I was like, sheesh, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So that joint, that right there changed me. That changed me a lot. And I was angry for a very long time. And that's where you would turn into the scumbag. But then, I rapped my way out of it. You know what I'm saying? So I have a song on there called I Love You, and I put it in there. Like, I put it in there. It's a song called Someone Else. Like, that one is deep, and then right after is a song called I Love You. And that joint is like, it's like Eminem-esque angry, like, type stuff. And so I've rapped through that, and then Raw and Underprivileged, when I rapped about just being black and that's hardcore. Being black in 2015, that was the year I went to the Million Man March and all of that. I brought all my people. I told my business partner, I said, what I want for my birthday, because my birthday is October 18th, and I believe the Million Man March was the 15th, I think. So I brought my birthday wish was to bring my people to the Million Man March. But when I left there, I left a whole different type of person. All of this stuff shaped me to that self-growth, higher self type of deal, and less angry. You know what I'm saying? And more mindful. But that Raw and Underprivileged album is deep. And if I would have died in that house fire, that would have been the last project people heard. And man, it's got a lot of subliminals, like I was getting ready to go. And then that's when I realized the power of your words and the power of that pen is so serious. It was so serious that I ended up doing like a little EP I put on SoundCloud. It was just R&B. I was singing on that joint because I didn't even want to rap no more. I didn't even want to rap because I was scared of what I was putting down on that paper, because it was starting to come true, and it was very weird. So, you know, I had my time. So I would say Damn a Lifetime, Raw and Underprivileged, and if the cleanup was like the Ways EP with the R&B and all of that stuff.
Wow. Okay. So, you know, you experience heartbreak, you're sad, you're mad, and you're in love all at the same time. Usually projects like that have the best material on it. I'm looking for it now. It's called Damn a Lifetime. Guys, if you want it, go to livemistapes.com, type in Truez, Damn a Lifetime. About to download it now, because I just want to hear where you were at that point of your life. Like I said, man, to me, sometimes when you go to things like that, the most powerful music that you can make, because it's energy coming out of you that has to come out instead of being bottled up.
Indeed, man. It was definitely a struggle. You'll love that joint. You'll love Supervillain too, because I feel like that was like AKA Scumbag, because it was kind of like, it was me being so angry at everything that I was turning into what I consider a supervillain. You know, so now I'm a hero again.
Definitely.
I look at it like that.
Or vigilante, you know, his own vigilante.
Yo, no, more so vigilante. That's what I'm saying. It's all Batman. I love Batman, by the way. And you remember, you know, you live long enough to see yourself become a villain. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like at some point you so loved that you be hated, and then you draw back, you go into the shadows, and then you reemerge when people need you. You know, and I feel like that's where I'm at right now.
Dope. All right, man. Nas said that no idea under the sun is original. So my question to you is, how difficult is it to come up with something unique for hip-hop or rap as far as sound and rap cadences go? Is it even possible to make music anymore without people having an immediate comparison to another band or artist making a similar sound?
Hip-hop is very, very young. Hip-hop is so young that you could still talk to the forefathers.
True that.
That's unheard of. You try to go talk to the rock and roll forefathers and see what they say. See if they tell you who did it first. You can't. Go talk to the blues forefathers. You can't. Go talk to jazz. You can't. So hip-hop is one of the ones that you can. So it's so fresh that it's a continuation right now. It's like a baby. It's like, you know, it's like the brain cells of a baby. I'm not even sure. I don't want to butcher the number count, but the babies don't have a lot of brain cells until they reach a certain age, or, you know, that joint just keeps growing after a while, or they can't retain memory until a certain age. Like, so it's kind of like, it's still fresh. And I had this conversation about originality the other day, an original thought. I consider original thoughts now a thought that you did not need no help to get. And whether it sounds or whether it's somebody else's thought, it was an original thought. Why? Because you was not persuaded at all. You woke up and said, I'm going to do this. Now, subconsciously, of course, you probably seen some things that fix your subconscious into coming up with the idea. But at the same time, If nobody whispered in your ear, hey, you should rap real fast, and then you go out and do it, that's not original. If you wake up one day and just be like, man, I'm gonna try this. Yeah, somebody else already rap fast, but you never rap fast. Sometimes you just gotta create your own little bubble, your own little world. But to kind of like to really clean it up, like on some professor type stuff, some Professor Griff type stuff. Hip hop is so young that I think it's just so unfairly spoken about because of the social media platforms, because everybody misses, whether they want to tell you that or not, they miss almost everybody who isn't popular. Like, take Lil Wayne. Every time Lil Wayne drop a record, it's like, ooh, I hope he's like the old Lil Wayne. I hope he's spitting like the old Lil Wayne. Like, that just means you just low-key miss him. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just kind of like we just unfairly speak about one another and hip-hop in general in an unfair manner. If this social media stuff didn't exist, Wayne would still be the hottest dude ever, because you can't get what he do anywhere else. Yes. Now that you could just get everything at one time, you kind of start singling him out and then start looking for things that you don't like about him, when in reality, before all of this other stuff came, that's all you wanted to hear. Y'all wanted to hear Lollipop. I didn't want to hear Lollipop per se, but everybody wanted to hear Lollipop. It was the highest grossing single of all time. And you could argue, you don't even have to argue, you can really be honest that was not lyrical at all, and it was his highest grossing. And now you wonder why his music sounds the way it sounds, but people try to condemn him from it. Nah, you can't do it. But hip-hop is so young, once again, so it's just spoken about in an unfair manner. So my advice to artists out there, for artists listening, carve out your own bubble and your own space. Everything is original there.
Yep. Man, I would even take a step further, man. I was talking to an artist the other day. He was telling me about all the trumpets and, the jazz parts in his music. And I was like, do you ever feel like you're being cheated? He's like, what do you mean? I said, you working super hard, you're putting all these live instruments in your records, you're hiring studio musicians to come in. And this is a guy that's pretty famous too. And you haven't been nominated for anything. But you get another guy who comes in and says, yada, 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 and he sells 1 million records and goes number one. It's like, do you feel cheated? Because you're putting, all this work and effort into creating a sound, and this other guy just comes in and, pretty much babbles over a record, over a few 808s, and he's the thing. He's like, yeah, for a time I did feel cheated, but now it's more so of just making music for myself, because this is what I like, and I still have, a handful of, fans who like this particular sound. Do you feel that way? Like you're putting your all your efforts, into creating the best music possible, but there's somebody else, of course, who's yada 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 yada, and they're on the radio.
Do I feel cheated? I felt cheated. I'm gonna take a page out of his book. I felt cheated. He should take a page out of my book and try to mix stuff together. He needs to try to make gumbo one day, and take a page out of Jay-Z book and try to change the whole landscape. So you mix those three things. He self-grew because he no longer feels cheated, but he felt cheated. What do you do when you feel cheated? What does an entrepreneur do? A real entrepreneur sees what's not there and they create it, not sees what's not there and get mad. You see what I'm saying? So now we have to be a different type of artist. And let's be honest, the people that's buying into, they're not buying this crap, by the way. I just want to throw that out there. Right, they're not buying this crap, they're buying into the crap. So it's two different things. So, all right, All right, let's draw back for a second. What do? Okay, this is what we do. He's using all these jazz instrumentals and stuff like that. Okay, it's not really catching. What do you got to do? He got to go into the office now. He got to go into the office now. He got to link up with some business investors or something like that and start carving out lanes. You got to start carving out lanes and watch 30 of him come out of the woodworks. 30 of him. I'm gonna give you an example. 2013, when I released Pharaoh Skin, Only Black in the Room, and I'm so sad that you wasn't here to witness what I'm saying, because a lot of people, like I said, the industry's not carved out here, our own industry, so a lot of people think I'll be just talking shit, but I'm not talking shit. When I released Pharaoh Skin, Only Black in the Room, nobody has ever released a song like that and put it in the forefront of the city, meaning I'm not saying nobody's ever done a song like that. I'm saying put that in the forefront. I shot a $1,200 video and brought a great video to Augusta that we was lacking. Prior to that, we didn't have A1 videos. Okay, so A1 video, Pharaoh Skin, Only Black in the Room. It was about interracial dating. It was about just feeling like left out because of your skin color. I'm talking about all of that stuff. I chose to come out with my first well-known project. I chose to come with that first. So guess what happens throughout all of these years? And whether people want to give it to me or not, you inspire. So now I can turn around and see 10 hip-hop artists now that got 10 A1 videos. You see what I'm saying? So sometimes you got to go into the office and create, not just for yourself, not just for the fans, but you got to create for these artists, man. Because if you really don't like how things are, that's the only thing that could change it. Martin Luther King had a 1 million man march. It wasn't Martin Luther King's march on Washington. He had 1 million people behind him. And the reason why he had 1 million, well, let's not forget, within those 1 million people, you had prominent people too. So you got to get that back in. So now, name dropping Jay-Z again. When Jay-Z does Tidal and tries to do it for the artists and all of that stuff, he's bringing people with him, prominent people, to try to go against what's the norm and being cheated out of everything and stuff like that, and create opportunities. I don't run rap no more. I run the map. When he said that, he took a step back out of trying to be number one in the rap game, and then he started making moves to better the rap game. That year, 2009, you could argue that when he took the desk in Def Jam, when he came out with Neo, Rick Ross, Rihanna, and Jeezy solo run, and Kanye and all of that stuff, you could argue around that time that he was changing it, but he couldn't do it from that box. So he had to actually create the box. So that guy, that artist, no offense to him, but he has to start doing that. Once he does that, now here's the trick part. Pioneers don't get a lot of credit. So he's going to have to bite the bullet on that and realize that he may not get a lot of credit. But one thing that cheating feel that he has felt will be gone. And it will be gone for the next person. And that's what it's really about. Martin Luther King had that dream, did that march, got shot, just so we can do what we doing today.
Yeah.
So that's the whole point of it all. So yeah, I feel like I laugh now more than ever, but like I said, I know people aren't buying it. They're just buying into it. People are buying other stuff. People are buying the good stuff. They're just buying into the whack stuff. Let's not forget. Let's really break this industry thing down. Let's break this streaming crap down. Oh, such and such break records being broken all over the place. Oh, top such and such songs on the Billboard charts. Ooh. But that don't mean they bought it. They just subscribe to Apple Music and subscribe to Spotify and listen to it. Mm-hmm. And then I could drop a song tonight, it'll get a million streams, and I'll be up on those charts. But guess what? 780,000 of them people didn't like it. But they can't take that stream back. Yeah. But I get those numbers, and then those those millions of people who haven't heard it think that I'm the one to hear because a million people have heard it. So now I get 30 million views. And now I have over 1 million people who actually like it now. So it's weird how it goes. It doesn't go like how people think it goes. When you get 2 million streams, that don't mean 2 million people bought it, and that don't even mean 2 million people liked it. That just means they heard it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So listen. So like he feels cheated out of nothing, really. He's not being cheated out of anything, because people are like that handful of people. Those are the people who are buying it. The people he's mad at, that's getting the $1 million deals that they gotta pay that money back. Those are the people who are just getting bought into.
You're right about that. So, us music journalist types, we like to always ask this question: who influenced your music? And blah, blah, blah. But we're not going to ask you that question. I want to take it a step further. I want to know about those names who influenced you in the way that you approach recording in the studio.
Ah.
Yeah.
Ooh, nice. Nasty. I like that. All right. That's a good one, because I just want to say, like, I just got to say, this has been the best interview I've ever had. And I've been on Shade 4-5, Sirius XM Radio. I've been on all that crap. Not lettuce crap, but I've been on all of that crap. And nothing has been as great as the questions that you have asked me. You've really given me a platform to speak on stuff that I think about all the time. So thank you, first and foremost, before we hop into that question.
No problem.
And what was the question again? Because it was so good that I had to thank you. I had to thank you for the question.
Yeah, man. I just want to ask you about, like, the artists who influence the way that you approach recording. Mm-hmm. Like you mentioned, the way Wayne records, and so who influenced the way that you record?
Okay, let's go early on. My eldest brother was a rapper, and
nice.
Yeah, I love him, obviously, even though we don't speak, I love him. But, so he told me one day, I was like, yo, can I go to the studio? I was probably like 16 at the time. I graduated 17. Yeah, I started the year off 16. 16 at the time, it was in the summertime. And I was like, yo, let me go to the studio with you. And he was like, you can go to the studio if you memorize your verse. Because he did not tolerate going into the studio reading off the notepad.
Yeah.
So he's old school, obviously. So, all right. So I write this. At this time, first of all, I set myself up for failure. I wrote a page and a half of stuff. I could have easily wrote 12 bars and said, yo, took the easy way out. But I was just writing, and then I was like, all right, he's about to go to the studio. I said, this ain't the same day type stuff neither. But just probably like a week or two later, I was like, all right. And I had been practicing, and he was like, all right, let me hear it. I have a bathroom in my room, and at one point, everybody had to use my bathroom. So when he was coming out of the bathroom, I was like, all right, I got it. And he was like, all right, let me hear it. And he was like, I started rapping, and I messed up at the last bar.
Ooh. And
he was like, oh, can't go to the studio. And then walked off. It was like real funny, but it was like, dang, yo. Wow. All right. So now the school year starts. It's my 12th grade year. I'm 16 years old. I just let everybody know at Westside that I rapped. Prior to that, at Josie back in 2005, when I was in 9th grade, I used to print up my own CDs when I first started rapping. I used to, get the little sticky paper to go on the CD. My mom used to give me all the CD, all the sticky paper. I would record on the voice, on the Windows Media, on the laptop. Like, I'd do stuff like that. And I'd create mixtapes, and I was passing them joints out early. You know what I'm saying? We talking like 13. So I had been doing my thing, so to even have to get my brother's approval at 16, know that it meant a lot. So here I am, I go to Westside, and then now I start letting my close homies, my man Chris Huggins and BJ Jackson, I rapped for them one time, and he was like, yo, you good. And BJ wouldn't let me he wouldn't let it down. He was just kind of like, bruh, like, you good, like, yo, you need to do this, you need to do that. Chris was like my brother. He was just kind of looking like, damn, like, yo, you're good, like, yeah. And so one time we was at lunch, and this dude that was recording, he was dropping songs on MySpace at the time. And we was in the lunch line, and BJ was like, he loud, he was real loud at high school. And he was like, man, I bet my man Truez here beat you in a rap battle. I bet you. And so he started hyping up a battle, and nobody had heard me rap. So the dude was just like, all right, yeah, bet. And we all got off at the same bus stop, even though I stayed on the south side, but I would always get off at Chris's bus stop over on the west side, because I never liked going home. And so we all got off on I wrote some bars in class, because I had to think of some rap bars. And at the time, I was a huge Fabulous fan, so I had the punchlines on deck. And I'm a huge G-Unit fan, so listen to Lloyd Banks. I had the punchlines on deck. Believe that. And Cassidy had just dropped the joint, like probably like a year prior, the Cassidy, the Hustler versus the Problem or something like that. But so punchlines was there. So I was writing something in class. I was nervous. I was in chorus, I remember. And I had worked it out with the chorus teacher that she just didn't let me sing. I don't know how I pulled that off, but I just never sung in chorus. And I needed to actually graduate. I think that's why she let me do it. But so I was writing my joints, and I remember we got off at the bus. Everybody got off at that bus stop, and my cousin, actually, her name was Wesley, she recorded it, and it was with one of them other Canon cameras and stuff like that, with the memory card and all that stuff. Yeah. And so I went up in Chris' apartment. It was me, Chris, and BJ, and I had made some hot dogs. I was doing all of this because I was nervous, by the way. So I had made some hot dogs, and I don't let nobody see me sweat for nothing. So I'm eating the hot dogs like a freaking king. Like, I'm just like, man, that nigga, he downstairs at the bottom of the steps. I'm like, yo, that nigga gonna have to wait. He gonna have to wait on me. And in the meanwhile, I'm just trying to remember what I wrote in the class. And right. So I get down there at the steps. We go across the street, and he pops it off, and he is horrible. And I'm like, oh, I'm about to have lunch. I'm about to eat right now. So, all right, so I started. And it's the video out there, by the way, yo. Everybody listening, 9 mils. You look up 9 and then put the little dash or whatever the hell that is. But 9 mils with a Z, MILLZ, and 9 mils battle. You can see that battle that I'm talking about. And and you will see me mess up in the battle too, because I started rapping what I wrote. And I remember it was this line that I had. It was like, I don't even remember the line after, because I forgot it then, and I don't even know it now. But the line I messed up on, I had this chain on. I was like, and this chain phase is a new age, ice age, right? And then after I said that line, I grabbed my chain, and I realized, and you watched me on the video, I forgot my shit. So I was like, ain't no way that this dude that is horrible is going to get one up on me. So I started creating a diversion. Like, I started, like, kind of throwing smoke screens out there. And then I stopped, and then I was just like, I was looking at everybody. I was like, I was looking at him, and I was like, yo, you ready? And then he was like, man, go. And I was like, all right. And I had to really think about something to do. So guess what I did?
What's that?
I did that one rap that my brother told me to memorize for the studio. And I smashed out. When it counted, I was there, and I didn't forget not one word, and I smashed it. Like, I'm talking about killed it. And everybody was like, ooh, like he ate them up. Like, I said, I had a Wesley Snipes line in there, right? Mm-hmm. But I drew it back. All right, so everybody was like, "Ooh, he killed him," and then I came back and I was like, "Hold up!" I told everybody, "Calm down," and I had to get this one last line off. I said, "Fuck a blade. I'm gonna hit you with the Bernie Mac and leave you and leave your chest leave you like Paris Hilton with your chest flat. And it was just kind of like, it was just like, yo, like, this dude is on some other stuff. And then I remember so cocky, I walked off. And everybody was like, yo, judges. And then the dude was like, nah, we don't need no judges. I'll give it to him. And I was like,
wow.
I kept the cockiness going. I walked across that street. We walked to the ATM because we betted $27 and they ain't had nothing in the ATM. I was pissed off. But BJ put up the money, by the way, but we was going to split it once he was supposed to give the 27. BJ ended up giving me his $27 because he was just so hyped. So, all right, so that's that. Now, studio swag. Let's talk about studio swag. When you actually get into a real studio and you stop recording on Fruity Loops with the little tiny microphone or all of that other stuff, you got to get your swag. Like, you got, when the microphone is in front of your face, it's a different type of thing. Your stance is different. You gotta get comfortable. You know what I mean? So I had to find that kind of swag on my own. Like, I don't think nobody can kind of teach you that aspect of it all. Now, approaching the studio, once upon a time I didn't smoke or drink, and then I started to smoke, but I wouldn't smoke before writing, and I wouldn't smoke before a session, and vice versa with drinking. And so I had rules so I can get the best sound out. Mm-hmm. And then I started smoking and writing and smoking and recording. At that time I had my own studio, so I can like mess with everything at my own time. So I wasn't really pressed at the same time. But artists, if you're out there, you're paying for studio time, come with it. Don't come with no BS. But just come with it. Have your stuff intact. But like I said, I was in my room for hours, so I already knew what I wanted out of life when it came to rap. Now, approaching like sound-wise and stuff like that, like I had my times when I wrote my lyrics in my head and didn't use a pen. I had those times. Those were cool times. And really, when you got a session with another artist, try doing that. It'll really put some heat on the other artists and make them realize who you really are, like, because you can put it together in your head, not freestyle it like all the other artists do these days, do 1 bar at a time or 4 bars at a time. I'm talking about put the whole verse in your head. Mm-hmm. So that's a whole nother ball game. And I did that for a little while, and then now I use my notebook. I read off my notebook. But I also do voice memos before I go to the studio. So I would do, and to do a voice memo, remember, you can't stop and pause and record and pick up where you left off. So I go through the whole thing, the whole song. Even if I'm singing on the hook, you'll hear my voice memos and be like, damn, that sounds like a song. People used to ask me, where you recorded this at? I said, this is a voice memo. And so I would just record it, listen to it. And by the time I go in the studio, I just have my notebook just to make sure where I'm at. And the conviction is there. And one thing, my people that rap with me and all of that, one thing that they'll tell you that I take serious is conviction. I need to feel and believe what you are saying. You don't got to be angry. You ain't got to be whatever. I just need to feel it. And conviction I got from like Tupac. Tupac had hella conviction. Kanye even got that conviction. I got my creativeness from a Kanye West. I studied LL Cool J's love songs to figure out how to soften up my sound. Fabulous and Lloyd Banks for the punchline. I used to call myself the punchline prince. Jay-Z for the flows and just being able. I dot after that. Just being able. Eminem for the elevation. 50 Cent for the song structure, for the shit talking, and for the don't fuck with me aspect. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of that is rolled up inside of me. Plus my brother being an artist and teaching me how to count bars. Me looking at what he did in Jersey and stuff like that. He came out with a documentary in Jersey. So it's kind of like, yeah, like, you know, I got a real life representation that I can touch, and then I got my favorites that I can mold. And you roll it all in one, and you got this boy with this dream, and then who figured it out and figured who he was out, and then now you got Truez, and that's how you get Truez.
Definitely. So I was going to ask you about the aspect from, the stage side of things, but early in the show you mentioned that you used to grab these albums and kind of envision your own shows using their music. So I could imagine that you were your own influence, the mirror man with the make-believe mic or the air guitar. You're in there rocking it out, creating your stage shows. So I don't know. I won't ask you that question, like what artists influence your live shows. But I will ask you this. How have your live shows changed between what you do now and things you did 10 years ago?
I let go on stage. One thing I take pride in, one thing I take pride in is nailing it. And I put quotations around that, nailing it. If I tell another artist, yo, you nailed it, that meant you didn't take no breaks in between your verse and try to get your wind up. You didn't have a track in the background so you could, just in case you slip. I take pride on nailing it. So the songs when I rap fast, best believe I nail it. It's like this thing, like if you listen to Supervillain off the Damn a Lifetime project, and I actually got a video for it. It's dope as hell. I wrote the treatment and all that. I write all my treatments in my videos. And one thing I do at the end of it, like it's the verse go like, everybody want to see a nigga fall or fail, the wiped off like polished nails. Even when I'm feeling low, I'm high as hell. If hell was high, my eyes will burn the sky. Hurts to fly. I don't want to crash and die, but I'd rather not see the world passing by. Asking why God, why I tried. The odds are high, can't compete with lies. So I'm like, it's like that, right? Mm-hmm. So when it gets to that part while I'm on stage, I do this thing where I grab the mic by two hands and I plant my feet almost like I plant my feet like I'm a boxer, like I got boxing feet at that point, and I grab the mic with two hands and I let that shit go, and it's things like that I do that makes me great. And people, sometimes I want people to have fun at my shows, but for the main part, people just be looking at me like, damn,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like I get those things. I don't get the person in there like throwing his hand up because he's too busy looking at me and he can't believe that he's seeing somebody like me do that he can touch, that he never knew existed. You know what I'm saying? And so when I get on stage, I'm about to make you feel it better than the record made you feel. How about that? That's the whole point. The whole point is I'm about to make you feel this better than the record did. And then you're going to love me even more, because one thing I always know, you get all your fans during the live show. All these viral people that go viral and stuff like that, they just going internet viral off of looks and stuff like that. They're not going off of talent. That's why when you see a show, that's why when you see 21 Savage perform at the Hawks game, you just stand in one spot and don't know what to do. Because they so used to the club environment as well. Or you just look at people, they just walk across the stage and they just ready to dive in the stage so they can get clickbait after the show. But me, on the other hand, I am going to make you feel it. I am going to nail it, and I'm going to make you feel it. And one of my biggest fears is forgetting my lyrics on stage, so I take pride on even nailing it even more. You know what I'm saying? So that's my stage performance, man, is really where it's at. Like, my music is great. I don't even want to downplay my music, but hearing how I talk, like me and you talking right now, and people listening, they like, dang, I really like what he's saying. Well, when you see me do what I'm saying, that's a whole nother aspect. And then that's when you tapped in the truth. That's when you really tapped in the truth. When you watch a video, heard a project, and see me perform. And I guarantee you, I'll become one of your favorite artists. If not your... Now, listen now. I didn't say listen to a song, watch me perform, and watch a video. I said listen to a project, watch one video, and then go see me perform. 20-minute set or better. Not a 10-minute, not a one of them one-song things. 20-minute set or better, I would be one of your favorite artists. And that's not a cocky statement. That's not even a confident statement. That's just, if I wasn't even myself, I would be surprised. And I know that sounds really weird, but it's just like, I worked on this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want that reaction. So that's what I go for. You know, I want to be your favorite. I want you to realize that I'm a one-stop shop.
Yes, sir. That's dope, man. So you have the one show coming up, or how many shows you got coming up?
I got March 2nd coming up right now. We working on a tour for this spring for the album. And currently trying to get, reaching out to Jay Good in Atlanta. It's my homie. Definitely, you know, he opened doors for me in Atlanta underground scene for the hip hop, and I helped him open the doors for here in Augusta and stuff like that. Like, we did a lot of exchanging and work and stuff like that, and I really appreciate him. So I'm be trying to link with him, try to get some shows booked and stuff like that. But for the most part, working on the tour. This March 2nd show is a part of my legacy, like I was telling you, with the rock bands. I got the soul singer. I got AE, she's the soul singer. Mayhem on a Monday. Sopus. I got Young Quad, who got the streets. And he ain't a street rapper. I always say he like the street narrator. He's the RIP guy. Like, he gonna let you know. He gonna let you know who you need to miss. Like, if you didn't know such died last week, listen to Young Quad's music. You know what I'm saying? And the dude got like an incredible mind as far as he's one of the nicest guys that I ever met growing up around our circumstances. So I put him on the bill because need that element, and I got my people, Strategy and Kukumar, who did like probably like 60% of the album on production. Ku did, and he also raps as well. And Strat, that's my boy, and we working on some different type of music and getting him acclimated on a whole nother type of level. So he's gonna be coming out hard soon. But that's my diversity, that's my legacy right there. That's something that I just got. I need to do. And people, you know what? I don't know how many people from Augusta is actually listening to this. I don't really care. But I don't care like in the sense of like I don't care, but I'm gonna say it anyway type of deal. I put the tickets at $20, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of people here, it's like, damn, $20? Are you crazy? I got artists hit me up like, damn, like $20? Like, yeah. In my mind, I'm like, yeah, $20. Like, people go pay $70-something to go see Cat Williams. People go spend $80 to go see Kevin Hart. People go spend $35 to go see Waka Flocka. People go spend $50 to go see Snoop Dogg. People spend $50 to go see like T.I. And these people don't do, like, no offense to them, but I'm on a mission. So if I see them, it's all love. But they don't do nothing for us. You see what I'm saying? And so, or you'll gas up your car $60 and drive 2 hours to go to Atlanta and pay $25 to go see Vic Mensa, to bring it down a little bit, or $20 to go see SZA before the Grammys, pre-Grammy SZA. So my thing is like, why can't you going to see two rock and roll bands that you like? Rock and roll is a lost art, not only in the music industry, but just even where I'm telling you about our city. The number one voice in the city, and her band, and me, and my people, and Young Quad. Why won't you pay $20? And I got brother Baruti Tucker, who owns a black business, Humanity Treehouse, which is a vegan spot, and he does painting downtown. I got him doing live painting at the show. And DJ Nightmare, one of the, if not the top DJ that's in these clubs almost every night, spinning. I got them. And I'm like, why won't you pay $20 for that? Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So to everybody listening, if you're from Augusta, $20 is necessary. If everybody is not from Augusta and everybody want to see you perform, but they only willing to pay $5, $10 at best, set a value on yourself. Yes. Set a value on yourself, and once you set that value, if people don't pay, you know who are paying now. Now you know. You can weave them out. You can weed them out. Like, so that's what March 2nd is about. March 2nd is about who with me and who with them and who with us and who really about the shit. And then once we find out who really about the shit, we can move accordingly. If the price is at $20, that means the lowest I go after that is $15. Anything less than that, then I'm just I'm not valuing myself. And I've been doing everything for free. New Trap City is my first album for sale. I've been doing everything for free. I used to get shirts printed up and give hoodies out for free. Everybody know them things ain't cheap. Yeah, like I used to do all of that stuff. I never asked for a dime. $20 ain't nothing. $20 is what everybody deserves.
Yes.
So that's my mission. That's what March 2nd is about.
Awesome, man. All right, guys, after the music break, it'll be time for our usual. It is called The Hot Seat, and our fans love this part of the segment. And, of course, along with the actual interview, but the audience get to hear either some vocals, poem, inspirational speech, spoken word, freestyle rap. Maybe he'll tell us a joke or another story or even play a live.
I do got a joke.
All right, man, we'll take it. But you never know what these creative minds and vessels will produce in the spotlight, and tonight we'll find out if Truez have what it takes to be put on the spot, a test of his true artistry, and maybe even some hidden talents. But we already know we got the juice. But for right now, we have Truez, I'm On, and we'll be right back.
Yeah, Truez got the juice. I'm like OJ on the loose. I'm like OJ in the booth. They like, okay, you the truth. I say, okay, now you know. I guess some people need proof. With my crew like Jesus. Disciples on the roof. Yeah, snipers with the shot. Rowdy piper piping hot. Aim for stars when I shoot. Elohim is in my roots. Yeah, smoke the tree of life. My higher self can see the light. I got that dope on the road. Move like Ali do in the fight. When the money call, money talks. With the Chris Tucker walk, I fish for sharks. Looking out for knocks, I hit my mark. I flood the street with no sock. I rock the boat, Aaliyah soaking wet. I'm so a vet, I'm Soviet, the militant killing. Ill with it, far as this game go, I'm stealing it. You stealing it, I'm stealing brick. Breaking shit, rebuilding it. I'm God with it, slick with this, I'm quick with it. Listen, it's some different shit. I'm missing screws, I got the tools, you heard the news. Extra, extra, all about the extra levels with the medals. Never settle into like a wrestler. Raw emotion, love and pleasure. Peace you seek, then I'm your vessel. I'm on, yeah, I'm on, I'm on, yeah, I'm on, I'm on, I'm on, I'm on, yeah, I'm on what you ain't, yeah, I'm on what you ain't, I'm on what you ain't. I'm on, yeah. I'm on like the toppings on the pizza. Need a piece of credit with the Visa. And the chip that's on my shoulders. Bumping over Kane and Chevy Novas. Chevy chasing paper over. Eddie Kane, I feel like holding. On the bills, the bankers folding. Paper with the faces posing. Show 'em it's a way of life. But every man has a price. Not every man has his rights. But every man has a prize. In the kitchen whipping up the Jerry Rice. I'm nice, I just might just sell it twice. Higher price than what you like. Cause what you like is playing dice. I don't leave it up to chance. The rapper with the master plan. Master P in 96. Trade Eminems for 50 cent. Load the clip and body this. Gymnast, I flip the flip. Gabby Douglas with the land. The God King and man. True, I'm on. Yeah, I'm on. I'm on. Yeah, I'm on. I'm on. I'm on. I'm on. Yeah, I'm on. I'm on what you ain't. Yeah, I'm on what you ain't. I'm on what you ain't. I'm on what you ain't.
Yo, and we are back. That was Truez, I'm On. And guys, this is why I do this show. It's so I can really just add dope, artists to my collection of music that I already listen to. It's not really for you guys, it's really just for me. This is how I find, a lot of gems that are around the world. Nah, just kidding. What we do here is we share, artists and their music with you guys in hopes that you become listeners and fans and family of them. I just found another artist I like. I'm gonna really dive in deep into his career. I'm gonna go pick up all the old mixtapes, and when the new one comes out in the spring, I'll definitely purchase it, because that's what it's about, right? Building with like minds, with super talented individuals like Truez, and supporting. We don't want to crab in the bucket anybody over here. We don't want to do that to anybody anywhere. That's what life is not about. So, man, that was a banging track. I'm on. Oh, yeah, maybe my theme song, when I wake up tomorrow. I like to wake up to a different theme song every day, just to set the mood of the day, Because you can actually control how your day goes by what you do first thing in the morning. You rolling over in bed, oh, today's going to be a crappy day. It is definitely going to be a crappy day. I'm jumping up, oh, yeah. Get into the bag, or however they say it. Securing the bag, listen, to some positive, upbeat music that's going to get your juices pumping in your brain. And today was a beautiful day, and tomorrow will be a beautiful day as well. To be alive and to be the person that you are. A beautiful day simply to be, to exist. Don't waste energy trying to possess or control. Don't let yourself be burdened by things that happened in the past. Keyword is happened. You can't change what happened. You can only grow through it, go through it, and hopefully you learn from it, right? Don't worry about being right or about impressing anyone. Focus instead on creating things that have never before existed, on adding value to the lives of others, on finding ways to express the unique person that you are. Man, that's your God-given right. It's your God-given talent. And what you don't use, you take it away. Or you just lose it. But what you lose can be found, right? Feel good by simply deciding to, rather than by abusing yourself or others. Look at everything that happened, opportunity for growth. Accept and be thankful for the abundance that is yours. Dust off your dreams and find a way to follow them. And a lot of times we can work 9-to-5 jobs and lose sight of those dreams. They just sit there in the corner collecting dust while we work 9-to-5 helping somebody else's dream stay alive. That's madness. But it happens, right? And to me, for like a long time. And then we broke the mold, right? We escaped. And now we working on our dreams of being one of the best podcasts in my little hometown of Jackson, Mississippi, with no degree in communication. Yeah. Don't worry about that, though. That's my dream. Anyway, so, life is precious and beautiful. As I was telling you guys about beauty in the beginning, every breath that you take is an opportunity to live life to the fullest. That's the only thing I want you guys to do, is just live your life to the fullest and be the best version of yourself as you can possibly be. So with that, let's bring the man of the hour back on. Well, it's been about 2 hours now. See, I told you we can. Truez, you're now live with us, and you're in our hot seat. What do you have for us?
I got a poem.
Nice.
Decided to give you a poem, and I liked what you were saying just now. So I'm going to read a poem that I wrote April 19, 2017.
Okay.
It's called Second Chance, and it's actually 2 poems inside one, but I'm going to explain that further. All right, so here we go. I feel like I'm getting to a second chance. at love, redemption, friendships as the wise man. I can, should, would, and will rise from the chill desert, hot sand, with God's plans in both hands. I love myself through faults and deals. I feel blessed, I feel damned. I felt stressed, I felt canned. Emotional scams from left to right. And when the left and right lane is crammed, it's like when the left and right brain is jammed. In the light, I search and feel. At night, I think of ways that my energy can expand. How many lives can I touch in this short lifespan? And each time I find out what's real. Each year I understand bit by bit. Each fear, I chip it away inch by inch. I speak light from above. That's uncommon sense. Intensely train your gated brain to lower the fence. Stress, depression, negative thoughts is defense. But in this second chance, I'm more equipped to defend what's in. So now, that's the end of the poem. And the second poem inside is, I can, should, would, and will love myself through faults and deals. In the light, I search and feel, and each time I find out what's real. Would you like to hear another one?
Yes.
Let's see. You want me to go back or you want me to go current?
Let's do a current one.
Current one. All right. Ooh, I'm gonna do it. The last one that I wrote. The last one I wrote was December 7th, 2017. It's called Sound. By the way, I wrote this in a after-school program that I was teaching at Grovetown High School. I taught out an after-school program for like October to December. Worked with the kids on poetry, just talking about life, music, all of that stuff. Their math test scores went up, increased by 48%. Their language arts and literature increased by 37%. All in that short time span. So that was a crazy achievement for me, and it speaks values to inspiring the youth. Nice. So I wrote this there, though. It's called Sound. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God. Thoughts manifest the physical through the sand and the sound of God. What you say resonates into actions, taking shape. Everything you see was created by the Creator in you. You heard it in your head, then you put it to use. The world was created too. The only question is by who? Whoever, whatever, and everything found comes from the God of sound. And so what that means, it goes to speaking things into existence. Everything you see right now, we're talking through something that somebody thought about. I'm looking at my door that somebody built, designed, a TV that somebody thought about. All of this stuff are thoughts manifest into the physical. And in the Bible, the first line is in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God. Mm-hmm. And so it's almost saying, if we're manifesting things through sound, and the first thing was the Word of God, it lets you know about creation. So when a lot of people like to say that there's a God in you, well, the Bible will tell you God is in you. Somebody asks Jesus, where's the kingdom? I'm not a religious person, by the way. But somebody asks Jesus, where's the, how can he get into the kingdom? He said the kingdom is within you. That's deep. And he kept throwing it. In the Bible, it keeps getting thrown back to you. You see what I'm saying? Everything is you. So I wrote that for the kids because I wanted to let them know that everything is you. You know what I mean? So, and what I was doing there was me. I wanted to do that. I did it with my people. I taught people I used to write for people. I used to do everything musically, and I used to gather up the kids in the neighborhood when I stayed in Stone Mountain, and I used to gather up everybody, print out Temptation lyrics. Don't know why Temptations. I was just so into them. They didn't even know who the fuck Temptations was, but I used to print out Temptations lyrics, and we used to sing them. So it's kind of like, I've always been a different type of person, but I wanted to leave something there. And that was like, that's something that I had to learn this year, that, you know, words manifest into the physical. So make sure you stay positive. Like you said, your brain, I might get this wrong. I was studying it earlier this year. I told the kids this, but piggybacking off of what you said after the song, I'm On, produced by 808 Jumpin', by the way, who was a former Grovetown High School student who heard of me through the class.
Nice.
Pretty dope. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so one thing that stands out to me, I was listening to Earl Nightingale, and I know I'm gonna butcher this a little bit, but it's the percentages are very, very hefty. It's like 40% of what you think of as things, your brain is consumed by thoughts of the past. That's 40%. That means almost half of what you think is things from the past. You already limited yourself already. And then you got the percentage, and it just builds from there, but you got the percentage of things that never happened. And that's pretty high. You worry about things that never even happened. And then you worry about health and things that you can't control. And then 5% of what you worry about, and I know this one is right, and 5% of what you worry about is things that you should worry about. So it lets you know where our brain is on a day-to-day basis. Like, it's kind of like we're not always in the right mind frame. So if you can wake up in the morning and kind of dial back that 40%, dial back that 20-something%, and increase that 5% into some good actions, man, yo, you be a master of your own destiny. No time.
Oh yeah, I believe it. Well, Truez, man, you've made a fan out of me. I'll definitely be diving deep into your music. Where do you want all of our listeners to connect with you online?
My website is going to be up soon, by the way. Man, this is the simplest thing ever. YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat, SoundCloud, anything that you can think of to try to find somebody on, all you have to do is type in Truez Nation, Truez Nation, and put it together, and you will find all my links, everything. And then I just dropped I'm On is on iTunes right now, so you can go get that. It's on Spotify, Tidal, and all other music outlets right now as well. Album coming soon this spring, New Trap City. Shout out to 808 Jumpin'. I really did a lot of work. He got me off my ass this year, so I appreciate him a lot. And my homeboy Kumar Carl, my new business partner, about to make some magic happen. GT Films for the Sunday. I'm shooting a video for I'm On this Sunday. I can tell y'all this. I'm gonna have a samurai outfit, pharaoh outfit going on. The throne. I'm gonna have a Hebrew outfit, so y'all might wanna, when that drop, y'all gonna really be like excited. And y'all go on my YouTube. I got over 15 professionally cut videos. Y'all have fun with that. But Truez Nation, everything is Truez Nation. So mainly follow my Instagram. On my Instagram, be popping. I'll be doing funny stuff on my Instagram.
Awesome.
Thank you.
And guys, just in case you're too lazy to Google Truez Nation,
for checking out my
typed them out in the description
podcast
of the show.
over
So
here
all you have to do is click the link.
All
Don't worry about a
episodes
thing.
are
It's okay to
available
be
for
lazy
free download,
today.
and you
Don't
can
worry
grab it
about
from
it.
either
The link is there for you.
Spreaker.com/Only One Media Group, iTunes, YouTube, any app that's on a Google Play or iTunes store, or our website. And that goes from every single episode that we've ever aired. If you'd like to request music or a particular guest or send something for me to play, email it to theRadio@onlyonemediagroup.com. If it's music, please label it by artist and title. Here's my disclaimer. We are genre free, we do not judge, and we absolutely do not base our opinions on hearsay but facts alone. And actually, you can scratch all of that because all of my opinions are always right. That's the bottom line. This is my show, so deal with it. Just kidding. On behalf of myself, Dini-Mussolini, I appreciate all you guys for tuning in, either afterwards or live with us. Spread the word, because sharing is caring. We stepped up our game just for you guys and our guests to make sure that you have the best experience here on our show. Be sure to connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, as well as Spreaker. We always follow back. That is the number one rule. Okay, well, just remember to be yourself and be absolutely great at just doing that. Avoid being too comfortable, because you're messing with your potential when you do that. Peace and have a good night.
You are now listening to Vigilantes Radio, the people's choice for quality interviews, art, music, and hot topics. Hosted by Demetrius Houdini Black Reynolds of the duo No Longer the Hero. All episodes of this podcast are available for free download at www.onlyonemediagroup.com. This is a Seventh Sign Regime Rebirth Worldwide Syndicate exclusive.